Glad to have you with us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we're going to talk about some free agent targets that Brett Veach and the Kansas City Chiefs could target after the 2025 NFL Draft. We'll go over 5 different players at 5 different positions coming up in just a bit. Before we do, folks, we are closing in on 71,500 subscribers here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We are growing at a rapid rate. I need literally just 10 of you. That's all I need, 10 of you, to get us to 71,500 here on the channel. You may be wondering, why should I subscribe? Well, you are going to get a ton of Chiefs coverage throughout the offseason as we bring you our daily news and rumors. We're doing live shows each and every Tuesday, breaking news, Q&A mailbags, and more. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Stay locked in, never miss a moment. We got you covered here on the channel. Big move coming. Could the Kansas City Chiefs make another signing after the 2025 NFL Draft? And to kind of give you an idea, folks, what we're expecting here over the coming weeks ahead. You're going to have the post-June 1 cuts, and so there are going to be teams that release some pretty decently talented players, and then you still have some players that are waiting for their name to be called that didn't get signed in the first wave of free agency. So could the Chiefs kind of fill the gaps of maybe spots they missed in the draft with some of the players that are still out there? The Chiefs don't have a ton of money to spend, about $13.5 million in cap space right now, according to Spotrac, but they have opportunities to open up even more money when you look at players that they could still restructure their contracts or extension candidates. So there is still more money to be found if the Kansas City Chiefs feel that they need to do so in order to bring in more players. So let's start with Za'Darius Smith, the 32-year-old edge rusher who was most recently with the Detroit Lions. And Za'Darius Smith has still played at a high level over the past several seasons, despite entering his 30s now. And I think adding Za'Darius Smith could be lethal for this Kansas City Chiefs team. When you look at the situation that they find themselves in with their pass rush situation, I think that Gelati is going to be a project. It's going to take him a bit of time. You don't know really what you have in King Felix as he enters year 3. And here's an opportunity to get a proven pass rusher that I'm sure would love the chance to be on a team that's competing for a championship in Za'Darius Smith. He's had a very good career, a 3-time Pro Bowler as recently as 2022, a second-team All-Pro selection in 2020, and he's been around the block a bit, playing for the Lions, the Browns, the Vikings, the Packers, and the Ravens. And last year, even with switching teams, going from Cleveland to Detroit, he still had a very strong 2024 with 9 sacks, 17 QB hits, 35 tackles, and 9 TFLs. I don't think bringing in Za'Darius Smith would be a bad idea at all. So your chance to be the GM here at the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Weigh in on our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in. Let us know what you think. S for sign, P for pass. Should the Chiefs sign Za'Darius Smith or not? Weigh in and let us know. Up next, we find Justin Simmons, the safety who was most recently with the Atlanta Falcons at 31 years of age. And if you recall, a few weeks ago, Justin Simmons was on the Up and Adams show with the lovely Kay Adams on the FanDuel Sports Network, and he made it very clear that he wants to play for a championship caliber team. He talked about playing for the Eagles and the Chiefs in particular, and even though he spent so much time in Denver, he said that he would welcome the idea of playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, that he'd be excited about it, even though he wants the opportunity to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. What's the old saying? If you can't beat them, join them. I think Spags would love this personally. And although I'm excited about Jaden Hicks, and I think he's going to be an upgrade from Justin Reid, if you're looking at what Spags could do to get the most out of this defense, you could bring in Justin Simmons, and then you have some potential flexibility to play the 3 high safety looks and get a guy that could fit that third safety role as somebody that does a really good job of creating turnovers. So much so that in 2022, He was the NFL's co-leader in interceptions with 6. He was a two-time Pro Bowler as recently as 2023, four-time second-team All-Pro in 2019, 2021 through 2023. Most recently with the Falcons, but spent the majority of his career with the Denver Broncos. And the production has been a constant for Justin Simmons in his career. Last season, he accounted for 2 total interceptions. And the year prior to that, he had 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles. And then we look at that year where he was the co-leader in interceptions in 2022, had 6 total, along with 7 pass breakups and 3 forced fumbles. I think it'd be great to have him on board here in Kansas City. And you're not going to have to break the bank for him either. The top wide receiver still remaining in free agency is Amari Cooper, formerly of the Buffalo Bills, who is now 30 years old. And of all the positions we're talking about today, let's be honest, when it comes to Amari Cooper, this would be a luxury. You don't have to do anything at this juncture at the wide receiver position with what you have with Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice, and now bringing in Jalen Royals, also having Hollywood Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. You're at a pretty decent spot when it comes to receivers. And I haven't even talked about the other pass catchers that you have it tied in with the great Travis Kelce and Noah Gray and all that. But Amari Cooper, if he's just sitting out there waiting for somebody to sign him, and if his price tag continues to go down the longer this goes, you might be saying to yourself, why not? What do we have to lose by bringing in a guy like Amari Cooper potentially to add to your depth? Amari Cooper, a 5-time Pro Bowler in 2025, 2026, 2018, 2019, most recently in 2023. He also was named to the PFWA's All-Rookie team in 2015. And last year, he was traded midseason to the Bills. Production not what was expected after having successful runs with the Browns, Cowboys, and Raiders. You can see there was a bit of a fall off there. 547 yards, 4 touchdowns. His drops went up as well to 12. But you don't have to go back that far to see when Amari Cooper was really good, as he had over 1,200 yards in 2023 and over 1,100 yards in 2022. If you're the Chiefs, I think that you're probably not going to get the 2022 or 2023 version of Amari Cooper. But if he could be better than what he was last year, he was a bit banged up last year too, then I think you'd be more than satisfied, especially if you can get him at a discount of sorts. If you had to pick one to side between Justin Simmons and Amari Cooper, which one would you rather have? Type JS for Justin Simmons, type AC for Amari Cooper. Weigh in the comments section. Pick one to sign. Chiefs rookie jerseys are on sale now. Justin Simmons, you can rock his jersey along with several other Chiefs rookies as well at chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. Now, you see the number 1 that represents him being a first-round draft pick. He is an offensive lineman. He won't be wearing the number 1. That belongs to Xavier Worthy. Whatever number he does have, you will get that jersey number, and we will have it available to you once it's ready to go, once we find out. You can get yours today. They're going to be going fast. And maybe you don't want Josh Simmons jersey or a rookie out there. Maybe you want an established name like Patrick Mahomes or something. That same link has all the Chiefs jerseys for your liking. Go to chatsports.com/Chiefs jerseys. Get yours today. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. 2 more for you. Let's go to the offensive line now. And this is where we find Brandon Shrief, the offensive guard, 33 years old, most recently with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And there's a question that the Chiefs have to ask themselves when they look at this offensive line situation. If the season started today, Kingsley would be your starting left guard, as Josh Simmons still has to earn his opportunity to be a starter. Jalen Moore would be your starting left tackle. And so there's a bit of an unknown, right, with this situation. Do you believe that Kingsley can get the job done at the left guard spot? And we don't know if Justin Simmons is going to be, if Josh Simmons, rather, is going to be healthy in time for training camp. Andy Reid tells us he will, but we'll see. And then also, if he is healthy, does he catch up to speed and all that? There's just a lot of outliers that still need to be figured out. So with that said, if you are looking for a secondary option or at least a depth piece Brendan Shrief is the perfect fit for that. Previously playing for the Jags and the Commanders, a 5-time Pro Bowler, 2016, 2017, 2019 through 2021. He was a first-team All-Pro selection in 2020, and he has still played at a decently high level even at this point in his career. So if you need an alternative option, this is about as good as you can ask for of alternatives here. His grades last year, an overall grade is 64.7, pass block grade is 74.5, run block grade not so great, 57.3, but he did not allow a single sack and only got called for 2 penalties in over 1,000 snaps last season. So pretty good from Brendan Shrief as far as that goes. One more name that we'll wrap up with in a moment, but first, who's a player you want the Kansas City Chiefs to sign? We've gone over a few names so far. We want to hear from you guys. Weigh in and let us know. Last name on the list is Eric Kendricks, the linebacker from the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll say this, even though he's 33, he's an older cat. He has not slowed down one bit. He still has played at a pretty high level at this point in his career. Most recently with the Dallas Cowboys. Prior to that was with the Chargers and the Vikings. His best season was back in 2019, where he was a Pro Bowler and a first-team All-Pro. And similar to what we talked about with the receiver position, you have some decent linebackers beyond Nick Bolton in that group. But if Kendricks wants to be a part of the equation here, you can certainly find a role for him and find a way to get him on the field in some capacity, especially when you look at these type of numbers that he put up recently. Last year, played in 15 games with 138 tackles, 4 TFLs, 3 sacks, 2 interceptions, and 3 forced fumbles. The year prior to that, 117 tackles, 7 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. He is still very good even at this juncture. So we'll see. Appreciate you joining us here on this edition of the Kansas City Chiefs Report. For more Chiefs coverage, subscribe now for free. YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.